This is probably the best JDM Seiko that's a perpetual calendar that I've ever seen, and I'm so lucky to own it. Let's take a look. Hello, watch people. Thank you for watching the internet with me. And today we're talking about JDM. And I know I talk about it a lot, but this watch is something special. Today we're talking about the Seiko SNQ-081. And it's probably the best, in my opinion, perpetual calendar Seiko that they ever came out with. Now, Seiko is one of my favorite brands, and this watch that I'm going to show you today, there's probably nothing on the internet about it, and I don't know why. It's a JDM release, so it didn't really come out here in America for sale. The JDM stuff from Seiko is amazing, and the watch that I have on my wrist that we have to talk about today, it never came out in the United States, but I think it would have done really well. Let's dive down and find out why. All right, and here it is. This is the Seiko SNQ-081. And I forgot to mention in the intro, I got this brand new old stock out of Japan, and I think I paid maybe like $300, maybe $320 for it. Brand new old stock though. And so, you know, got the box with it. Comes in the Seiko outer that everyone's familiar with. And then you have the Seiko inner, pillow, and warranty card. See SNQ-81 up there. This is the movement. This is the 6A32 movement. We'll get more into that in a second. And full set, extra link. And this did have a name, although I hate it. It's called the Seiko Criteria. It was their Seiko Criteria line. I'm not really sure what other bangers were in the Criteria line, but this was the hang tag for it. Hardlex crystal, 100 meters water resistant. So it's kind of a dive inspired, but not exactly a dive watch to speak of. But put that away. All right, so dimension wise, she's almost perfect. She's got a 40 millimeter case. She's about 11 millimeters thin. She's a pretty thin gal. 20 millimeter lugs. And it's got this integrated positive bracelet that if you look at it, see if I can get it. I mean, it wears perfect. It's probably, I think I measured it, it's about 48, 49 lug to lug. So it just falls perfectly right on your wrist. It's such a pleasure to wear. Solid link, single clasp here. It's kind of the cheaper press clasp, but you know, who's counting, right? Sign clasp there, Seiko. I wanted to get in a little closer so you can see it a little better here. And as I said before, it's 100 meter water resistant, Hardlex crystal, which doesn't hurt my feelings too bad. Seiko does really good crystal with their Hardlex. It's got this beautiful brown, like sunray burst dial. And the outer bezel is matte, so it really makes the bezel kind of pop out of the watch almost a little bit. It's got this orange second hand here going around, and it almost doesn't look like it has a counterweight, but if you look, it does. It's painted black, so it's kind of a cool effect where it's almost a counterweightless seconds hand, but it does in fact have it. So the bezel is bidirectional internal. And for anybody who doesn't know kind of what this does, this is kind of made for, you know, timing something. You kind of put it around to here. And you can use it to count minutes this way. You line up the top of the bezel with the minute hand there. And as the minute hand goes around, then you can kind of time 5, 10, 15 minutes. You can also use it if you're wanting to time something within 60 seconds to go from there, and then you can count around. You can also use it if you wanted to count hours. So if you did that, you know, it's not you know, it's not like, you know, bang on accurate stopwatch or anything, but it gives you a little bit of an option, you know, for timing something. The thing I think the one gripe I would have about this is, look at this. I mean, it is free spinning. So I would like to see this like a screw down, or at least a little bit harder to actuate, because as soon as you put it on your wrist, like if you want to go time something, as soon as you put it on your wrist, this thing's moving all around. It's not, you know, it's not, it's kind of easier to use it off the wrist and not touch it if you're going to try to time something. And then as you can see, we have, you know, 12, 3, 6, 9. Well, we don't have a 6, but the date window's at 6, 9. And then we have the military minute or the hour track going around. Perpetual calendar, 100 meters. And you'll notice that we have this date button up here. So this is for the perpetual calendar. This watch knows what day, month, and year it is. And if you've seen my video on my other JDMs where I compare my Astron to my Landtrek, I said in that video that the perpetual calendar that the Landtrek uses, it's an 8F56 perpetual calendar. And it is not settable by the user unless you undo the case, screw down case back, by the way. Let's see if we can get a good look at the case back there. Pretty bland. If I can get it to focus, there we go. But you can't set the 8F56 just, you know, with buttons or whatever. You have to physically undo the case and then short out points on the circuit board, almost like an AC reset. And it's a specific, there's videos on YouTube on how to do it. It's like, it's pretty complex for, especially if you're new to it. This is totally user settable, and we'll go over that now. So like I said, it's a push-in crown. So if we pull it out to the second position, so all the way out, second hand hacks, and you're free to kind of do whatever you need to with the minutes and the hours, right? This button does nothing in the second position. Okay, push it in. Now, if you go out to the first position, you'll notice that turning this does nothing. This is where you would normally set your date window. But the way you set the date window is you set up the entire calendar. So you press in, so the crown's at the first position here. We're going to press and hold this button. The second hand's going to whirl around to midnight here. And the second hand is the only hand on here that's motorized. See how easy I'm turning that bezel? I'm just trying to like not even touch it and I'm turning it. But the second hand is the only hand on here that's motorized. It's still keeping internal time, and you'll see how it catches the mechanical hands up after we set the calendar up. But you'll also see down here, the date window now has gone to 1. The watch is now in its zeroed position setup mode. Okay, the first mode you come to when you press and hold the button is your zeroed hands mode. And I keep saying I'm going to do it, but I need to do a video on zeroing your hands. But anything that has motors, you need to tell the watch what it's pointing to. So you'd use the crown now like a scroll wheel. You can go back and forward. And what you're aiming for is you just want the hand to say 12 o'clock, and that's at zeroed position. The date window also rolled to 1 to indicate that this is its zeroed position. So the watch thinks that it's at 1 and it's showing 1. If the watch is showing 2 and it's thinking it's 1, it's not going to be accurate. So so the first thing was the hand. So we got the second hand zeroed. We're going to push the button. You're going to see the date window do a little shake there. And now, and you probably won't be able to see it, but you're moving the date wheel ever so slightly when you're turning this. And you want that 1 to line perfectly up with that marker. Okay? So if it's saying anything else when you do a battery change or something, if it's saying like 17 or something, this is how you would zero it to say 1, and this is 0. Now we're ready for the setup. So you press it again. It's going to go to 9. And this is going to whirl around to the day of the week. And I'm probably going to stop it here and just let it whirl around. This will take a minute to... Actually, I think it's the 17th. I think it's going to be okay. All the indication for the calendar, for perpetual calendar, comes from this dial. So it has to whirl around the whole disc to a number that's set. So the 9 o'clock position is saying the day, it's the 17th. So perfect, it's the 17th. We push the button again. Now this one I probably have to stop for because now it's wanting, when it goes to the 10 o'clock, the month, and it's going to go all the way around to 11. All right, coming up on 11. There we go. Okay, so the 9 is talking about the day of the month. The 10 o'clock position is talking about the month itself. So October is the 11th month, so it's showing 11. Push this. Now it's asking for the year. Now in this model, 25 does mean 25 because we're in 2025, but 25 can also mean a bunch of other years. So it's pretty much going to use the rule of 4 with perpetual calendars, where it's the 3 on, 1 off leap year. Some of these numbers, like 24, might also mean 32, because it's good up to 99. It goes to 2099. So since there's only 31 numbers on a date wheel, some of those numbers have to pull dual or triple duty to indicate what numbers. So it's important to have the manual to know which numbers correspond with what years you're in, especially after 31, because I think even when I was reading it, 27 is not 27, or there was one number that wasn't actually the number. And it can be a little confusing, but if you have the manual, which is completely downloadable online from Seiko, the 6A32 manual, you'll be fine. So now we got the 25, and so we'll push it again. And now it's going to whirl back to 1, back to your zeroed hands date position. So that's pretty much it. Once you get the day, the month, and the year right, this watch will keep perfect date in the window for until at least the battery dies. And this is how it catches up the time when, because like I said, it was tracking in time internally. So since the hour and the minute hand are not motorized, the second hand just spins around a couple of times to catch the hands up, and you never lost a beat. I hope you guys kind of enjoy those deep dives into some of the inner workings of how Seiko kind of got some of this stuff to work from back in the day. They made a bunch of different perpetual calendar models. The 6A line, they had the 6M movement line, the 8F line. This is kind of an era where they were really trying to figure out if they wanted to go this route or the radio controlled route. And they've kind of more gone the radio controlled route through like the Astron and stuff like that. And I talk about that in my JDM video. This one in particular was easy to set, but some of them weren't, and some of them were confusing. And when people were buying them secondhand, they could never get them to set right if they didn't have the instructions. So they kind of just said, you know what, we're just going to go the radio controlled route more. That's why you don't see a whole lot of Seiko Perpetuals in their line today. So hope that was a good info on something that Japan released that was really good, but we never got in the States. Thanks for watching the internet with me. Take care.